What are murderers like? Some of them have been thoroughly nice chaps. That's Old Man speaking to his son Charles Hayward at Scotland Yard in the book Crooked House by Agatha Christie. In today's video, I will be sharing my thoughts about Crooked House, as well as how I did on Melissa's book challenge, and share with you some recent book mail I have received. Hi, I'm Kat. Welcome back to Kat's Novel Adventures. Good news, I finished Melissa's 7th grade book challenge. Yes, I am super excited. I actually had to be finished with this challenge by December 12th because that is when the quarter ended for her class to be able to take their accelerated reader test, which I was also able to finish my accelerated reader goal as well. But anyway, I had to finish 3 prompts for her challenge, and that was to read a book suggested by Mrs. Morrison, read a book that has a mystery to solve, and read a book a classmate suggested to me. So I went ahead and killed 2 birds with 1 stone using Crooked House by Agatha Christie. This has a mystery to be solved, and it was suggested to me by a classmate, which is really one of my friends in the BookTube community, which happens to be Amy, who goes by the Amy Taville Library on Instagram. Anyway, it was a fabulous, fabulous recommendation. I loved it. Basically, it is the Leonardus family who happens to be very wealthy, and they live in England. And the patriarch of the family has been poisoned. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, Sophia is the granddaughter and meets Charles Hayward while they were both working in Egypt. Well, when Charles comes back, he's planning to marry Sophia, but she can't marry him until the mystery of her father's death is solved. I'm going to tell you right now, lots of red herrings. I could not figure out who the murderer was. Agatha Christie is so good at not having you guess. I had no idea. And I was so surprised. And I loved the story. So I would highly recommend Crooked House to you by Agatha Christie if you have not read it. Also, this book is getting lots of mileage because I'm also using it for my Cloak and Dagger Christmas readathon and my Christmas Evil readathon. Next up is the one that Mrs. Morrison recommended to me, and that is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. This is the first book I've ever read by Danielle Page, and I want to say it was awesome. It is basically taking place in the land of Oz. So if you're familiar with the Wizard of Oz, then you will, I would think, enjoy this retelling of it. It's basically about a young girl named Amy who lives in Kansas, and she is brought to the land of Oz by a tornado, just like Dorothy Gale, except when she arrives, Oz is not like it is in the tale that you and I know about. Things have gone really badly, and Dorothy happens to be in charge of Oz, and she's not a very nice person. Anyway, this young lady Amy and her pet rat, it's not Toto that's brought with her, but a pet rat, they are recruited by a secret organization, and they basically want her to get rid of Dorothy. So I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil all the details and all the juiciness of this novel, but I will say it is really interesting, and it is the first book in a series, so it does end with a bit of a cliffhanger. But I gave this one 4 stars, and I gave Agatha Christie's Crooked House 5 stars. Book mail time! Woo, woo! Book mail time! I know I'm being a little silly. I'm just excited that I'm getting to share for my very first time some book mail I received. So that's kind of my little intro to whatever, just being silly. The first book I want to share with you that I received in the mail is, this is exciting. I was a Goodreads giveaway winner. Woohoo! I register for tons of books on Goodreads, and this is the very first time that I have won, and I'm excited. And I got the novel Ashton Hall by Lauren Belfer. I have not read anything by Lauren Belfer, but the story sounds really, really interesting. Let me share. When a close relative falls ill, Hannah Larson and her young son Nicky join him for the summer at Ashton Hall, a historic manor house outside Cambridge, England. A frustrated academic whose ambitions have been subsumed by the challenges of raising her beloved child, Hannah longs to escape her life in New York City, where her marriage has been upended by a recently discovered and devastating betrayal. Soon after their arrival, ever-curious Nicky finds the skeletal remains of a woman walled into a forgotten part of the manor, and Hannah is pulled into an all-consuming quest for answers. Nicky, close by her side, working from clues in the centuries-old ledgers showing what the dead woman's household spent on everything from music to medicine, lists of books checked out of the library, and the troubling personal papers of the long-departed family. Hannah begins to recreate the Ashton Hall of the Elizabethan era in all its color and conflict. As the multi-layered secrets of her own life begin to unravel, Hannah comes to realize that Ashton Hall's women before her had lives not so different from her own, and she confronts what mothers throughout history have to do to secure their independence and protect their children. Ashton Hall is a novel that reveals how the most profound hauntings are within ourselves. So sounds really, really good. So I'm looking forward to reading this. This will have to be something I check out in 2023 for sure. The next book I received is actually from the author D.A.L. His name is Daniel, but that's how he puts his name on his books. I actually received an ARC for his newest book, which is Rise of the Princess. I had actually received a book from Daniel, I want to say back in August. He reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to read his book and then review it. And the first book I read is called The Haunting of the Old Yellow House on Millard Road. It's a book that is geared more for like lower elementary, maybe third grade, possibly early fourth grade, and it really is a sweet mystery story that takes place in a haunted house. And so I was super excited when he reached out to me again and asked me if I'd be an ARC reader. Unfortunately, the book arrived a couple of days before publication date, which was December 12th, and I have not had a chance to even open it up to read it with all the readathons and trying to meet my deadline for Melissa's book challenge. But I will definitely be getting to it soon because, like I said, his first book was really, really great, and I look forward to reading more of what he has written. The next thing I want to do is talk about my Nightworms package that I received in the mail. I'm so excited. This is a horror subscription that you can either buy it, one at a time, which I have done, or you could subscribe, monthly for as long as you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it. I don't know what's inside of it yet, so I wanna open it and see what kind of goodies, but it's gonna take me a little bit. I'm gonna have to use scissors and all that kind of stuff, so I don't wanna waste your time watching that. So I'll be back in a second. Well, I'm back. It took me a few minutes to get it open. but I finally got it opened and I have everything taken out of it. December's Nightworms, the theme is Krampus Spirit. And I like Krampus. I just discovered him a couple of years ago, and I don't know, I find him kind of fascinating. Honestly, I mean, he's terrifying, but he's kind of fascinating at the same time. In fact, I am reading a nonfiction book for the Christmas Evil Readathon that is teaching me all kinds of things about the Krampus and other folklore surrounding the Krampus tradition. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you get 2 books. One of them is a hardcover and one is a softcover. So the softcover book that I got is Lucky Girl, How I Became a Horror Writer, a Krampus Story by M. Rickert. Okay, and that's what that looks like. And it says, Ro, a struggling writer, knows all too well the pain and solitude that holiday festivities can awaken. When she meets 4 people at the local diner, all of them strangers and as lonely as Ro is, she invites them to an impromptu Christmas dinner. And when that party seems in danger of an early end, she suggests they each tell a ghost story, one that's seasonally appropriate. But Ro will come to learn that the horrors hidden in a Christmas tale or one's past can never be tamed once unleashed. I like it. It's not very long. Maybe, I doubt it, but maybe I could try to squeeze it in before the end of December. No promises. My TBR for December is rather large already, and I am a little bit behind. The next book is the hardcover book, and this is White Horse. See, that's that Gunsmoke Western talk. White Horse by Erica T. Worth. I like this cover. It's really nice. I like it. Okay, and this is what this book is about. Heavy metal, ripped jeans, Stephen King novels, and the occasional beer at the White Horse have defined urban Indian Carrie James's life so far. But when her cousin Debbie finds an old family bracelet that once belonged to Carrie's mother, it inadvertently calls up both her mother's ghost and a monstrous entity, and Carrie's willful ignorance about her past is no longer sustainable. Haunted by visions of her mother and hunted by this mysterious creature, Carrie must find out what happened to her mother all those years ago. Her father, permanently disabled from a car crash, can't help her. Her aunt Squeaker seems to know something that isn't eager to give it all up at once. Debbie wants help, but her controlling husband keeps getting in the way. Carrie's journey toward a truth long denied by both her family and law enforcement forces her to confront her dysfunctional relationships, thoughts about a friend she lost in childhood, and her desire for the one thing she's always wanted but could never have. So, this book, as well as the Lucky Girl book, I have not read either one of them, and I have not read anything by either of these authors. So if you have read anything by either of them, let me know in the comments what you think, or if you've actually read those books. That would be good to know. And what's nice is we get signed book plates to put into our books. That's really special. I received a Seasons Creepings magnet. Look at that. I love this. A Krampus sticker. I don't know if that's too blurry or not. I love the Krampus sticker. If any of y'all have seen the Christmas Evil tag, you see that basket? Kelsey would fit nicely in that basket. Sorry, Kelsey. I also have a bookmark. This looks like it's advertising Moon Lake by Joe R. Lansdale. And then I also got a bookmark that says Krampus Spirit, Night Worms, and I like this. I love bookmarks. I don't think you can ever have too many bookmarks. And then look at the back. I love that. And then last but not least, we have some nutty milk chocolate cinnamon cocoa. And this is from Moonstruck in Portland, Oregon. How nice is that? We're having some cold weather finally in Louisiana, so cocoa will be really nice about now. Well, my friends, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed what I had to share with you. If you have, any thoughts about Crooked House, Dorothy Must Die, or the new books that I've received, share your thoughts with me in the comments. I really appreciate that. In the meantime, please stay amazing and be adventurous.